The all-holy Jeb has blessed us with a new combat snapshot update. That's right. We've covered this not once, not twice, but 3 times before. So this is the 4th combat snapshot update. I'm going to show everything that has changed in this update so you get all the news right now. So here we are inside of Combat Snapshot 4. You can see that from the menu screen right here. And I'm going to jump back and forth between test number 3 and test number 4. So that is going to be indicated by some text at the bottom of the screen so that you guys know exactly what version we are in. Now, before we start, let's go back in time to Combat Snapshot number 3. So before, anytime that you switched to a weapon, you can see the attack indicator timer there right below my crosshairs. That would have to build up. It would have to start counting up from 0 to 100% anytime that you just switched to a new weapon. This is a really big downside because let's say you're doing something with, a hoe, or you're trying to lead some chickens with something else in your hand, and then you hear a creeper and you have to turn around and attack real fast. Well, that attack indicator would be starting at 0, and so switching to a weapon and attacking would be not that great because you'd have to basically switch to that and then wait a few moments for your attack indicator timer to get up to 100%. But now in the new version, switching to any of these items has it at 100%. So you can switch from any inventory slot and it will already be full. The only time that attack indicator timer resets is after you've performed an attack. So it will stay where it needs to stay at until you are ready to swing. And then after you make that swing, that is when the timer resets. Now, this next thing is going to be a little bit difficult to see. It's all down to some pretty precise timing. So in the older version of the snapshot, if you were trying to get a critical hit, you would need to make sure that you basically hadn't swung before. Your attack indicator timer would need to be at 200%. So even after it maxes out, you would need to wait a little bit. So if I sit here and I spam my sword, and as this creeper comes up, and I'm going to try to get a critical hit, which is you have to jump and fall in order to... A critical hit looks like this. Hiya! And so you can see those particles there that hit the creeper there. But if I was spamming and I did that same jump and tried to get that critical hit, you can see that there are no particles. That is because I didn't wait until the timer was at 200%. So now, if I'm spam clicking, I'm still clicking at 100% each time, or at least I'm trying to. But now I can get that critical attack every single time that I do that jump and hit, because now the timer only needs to be at 100%, not 200%. And that also goes for your knockback attacks when you are sprinting. So in the older version of the combat snapshot, if I am sprinting at this creeper, you can see that he gets knocked back an awful lot. But if I spam click when I'm sprinting at him and hit him, he doesn't go back nearly as far as he should. So let's pull that off one more time. Spam clicking, rushing him. You can see he kind of goes back. But if I was to do it with the, when I was at 200%, he goes back a lot further. That is reset again in the new version to 100% instead of 200. So this next one is a little bit difficult to show and also to explain because there's a lot of numbers that kind of fluctuate. So when it comes to attack reach, your default 100% attack reach has been updated. So this is the new attack reach at 2.5 blocks. The old reach was 3 blocks. So you've lost half a block of attack reach when you're at 100%. But you get a bonus if you're at 200%, which is, your attack time indicator has been up there for a little while. And so the new bonus is a full block bonus, and the old bonus was only a half block bonus. So if you are at 200%, it's the same in both versions. So you still have the 3.5 total blocks. So if you place a mob down and stare at it without attacking for a little while, you'll be able to reach 3.5 blocks away. And that basically means that if you're in the middle of a fight in the newer combat snapshot, you're going to have a shorter attack reach if you're constantly clicking and attacking at that 100% attack. So your attack reach is going to go down, but it's going to stay the same basically if you were just starting to attack. So that is a new change with attack reach. So currently in the older combat snapshot, I have literally picked my mouse off of the keyboard and used a command to make sure that I am perfectly in the same spot and same orientation. And then I can just spam this bow over and over and over again. And what we're looking for is basically the spread of the arrows here. So every time you fire an arrow, there's a little bit of randomness that happens whenever it leaves your player, and it'll spread out in that random pattern. And in the older snapshot, that uncertainty was set to 1. So I'm gonna finish firing off here, and we're gonna walk over here to this location. You can see just how big that spread is. And over here in the new combat snapshot, it was reduced from 1 to 0.25. So only 1/4 of the spread, and you can see just how much more accurate bows are now in the new combat snapshot. And that is from a short distance. I was standing just over here, and that is a huge, huge accuracy difference between the new snapshot and the old snapshot. And just so you can get a perfect point of view, this is the old snapshot, and this is the new snapshot. And the previous versions, the option for you to crouch to have your shield up was added, and this is a parity thing with the Bedrock edition. But now we have the option to turn that off in accessibility. So if for some reason that's really annoying to you, that every time you crouch, you throw up your shield, that has been removed. You can remove it yourself in this new version. Also, in the older version, we had this shield animation option, and this basically, if you had it turned off, would completely remove the shield from your view if you decided to move the shield in front of you. In the new version, that is just completely removed. So now you have to deal with the shield all up in your face. In the previous snapshot, if you added tridents to a dispenser and you fired it off, it would just drop into the item, and that's no fun. In the new version, whoa, they actually fire like you would expect them to, which is great. Too bad tridents don't stack, because it's gonna take up a lot of room if you want to fire those bad boys off. I don't even need to go to the old snapshot to tell you this, but if you if you threw a trident into the void in the old one, there was no getting it back. That thing was gone. But now, if you have the loyalty enchantment and it goes into the void, it will come back to you, which is really, really, really nice. Here it is coming back. I have loyalty 3 on this, so it zooms back to me really, really fast. It's almost hard to tell. But that is a great addition, because especially in survival mode, if you don't get your trident back after you toss it into the void, that's real sad, real sad. Some changes to the Impaling Enchantment. So currently the Impaling Enchantment only works on aqua living creatures. So only the stuff that you would find in the water. Now, this has been updated to also hurt things while it is raining or if they are in water, which makes this a way better enchantment in my book, because it was really a total throwaway enchantment. It really wasn't useful at all in the past. And now, if it happens to be raining, sort of like channeling or Riptide, that if there is water in the area, it makes the trident like a much more powerful weapon. So Impaling is now an extra little bit of something that you can get on the Trident. Snowballs now stack all the way up to 64. Before they were only 16. And also there is a little bit of a time delay, so you can't spam them quite as much as you used to be able to. It's a 4-tick delay. And also the rendering of snowballs is a little bit different in that they will render 2 ticks after they're thrown, so that you don't get a snowball right up in your face as it is moving away from you. So you can see that it's almost a little smoother now, that you don't have a gigantic snowball in your face, and that just stops with like flickering and whatnot. It just makes it render a little bit further away from you, which I really like. Before, if you threw an axe in an enchanting table, you would only get basically tool enchantments on it. So you could get unbreaking, efficiency, and chopping as well, because that was added in the previous combat snapshot. But you would not get any of the weapon enchantments like knockback or sharpness. So now you can get all of those weapon enchantments. So that makes axes much more of a weapon, which we've already sort of slowly seen in all of these combat snapshots. But this adds it also to the enchanting table. That means that you don't have to now enchant books, which could still be applied to axes in the past. So if you wanted sharpness 5, you could get it by enchanting a sharpness 5 book and then applying it in an anvil to an axe. But now you can get it straight from the enchantment table, which is really, really nice. And a little note from Jeb is that chopping there was a lot of discussion about chopping. None of that has been changed yet. So there's actually nothing to report on the chopping enchantment. There you go. Everything that is new in the new Combat Snapshot update. Now, a few things to note. One, we're calling it a Combat Snapshot update, but this snapshot does not mean that it is upcoming in 1.15, which is now in pre-releases as we talk. So don't expect it to come out in 1.15. I don't think there is a specific numbered version of Minecraft that this is ready to be released on. Also, if you want to get this yourself, you have to do it manually. It's not going to show up inside of the launcher all on its own. So you have to go to the Reddit post, download a zip file that'll contain some JSON files. You drop that into your .minecraft versions folder, and then it will show up as an option when you create a new instance in the launcher. There's instructions on how to do that on Jeb's Reddit post if you want to do that yourself. Thanks so much for watching this episode of OMG Craft. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. See you next time. Bye.